I like to play games my own way. Back in 2016, in Epes of Iron 4, I had tried to convert all countries to democracies using Switzerland. They would still nuke each other to death, but whoever remained would be my friend, so close enough. Later in 2019, I learned about the Millennium Dawn mod, and at first, I just wanted to fix budgets. As it turned out, fixing economic crisis was easy. So I got curious and tried a diplomatic win, and I came to call that the Pacifist run. The concept was simple: annex the US, Russia and China without firing a single shot. After turning autosave off so the game would stop lagging, I found a bug that made it extremely easy. And now, early in 2021, as I watched someone else invade Ukraine using Poland, I wondered if the bug was still there and the Pacifist run still possible in that mod. Welcome to Nogamer.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor with an E that's important, and I'm with Cindy.
Hello!
And we're back at it! Millennium Dawn! Pacifist run with a twist! The twist is we're apparently so sick of our own voices that the eventual video should be only around 15 minutes long.
I've given up on talking politics.
Good! The world is instantly a better place. And for those of you wondering what's happening on screen right now, the answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing you see will play any role whatsoever.
I know we want to keep the video short, but I have to emphasize how we will ignore 90% of the game mechanics. 95% actually, because we can't exploit the bug anymore.
We'll still invest trillions in foreign countries, right?
Yeah, we'll still manage budgets. It will be fun.
If by fun you mean grinding for hours for political points, then yeah, I guess.
This is why we start with Germany. We could probably do it with any other country, but I want to be done before dinner, and Germany has a fairly good political output.
We are also building armored vehicles to give to our puppets, I see.
If we ever want to annex them and inherit their debt. I don't know if that bug has been fixed.
Wait. We are reaching the fun part. Optimizing politics.
Oh golly, we get to ruin education for everyone.
And then we brute force centralized administration in Germany.
I more or less remember us destroying the very fabric of German democracy the last time. This time around has been way more tame.
We are reasonable people, you know.
Who knew what conquest required giving up on universities?
I knew it! They were dragging us down all along. This game is a definite proof that higher studies are a total scam.
By the way, this part is new. They gave us decisions where you can buy political points for money. The fools! But more seriously, look at all the decisions. Most of them related with the European Union, and we don't care about any of them at all.
Can you imagine the modders pouring months and years of blood and sweat into mechanics most people will ignore just to go and murderize their neighbors?
My condolences.
Okay, so we promised a shorter video. Shouldn't we cut all of this?
I don't know. I feel like it's a tradition to keep the setup, if only so people can witness all the many details we will never, ever look at for the rest of the game. If for the next 10 minutes of your life you were to wonder what the German military was doing, here is your answer.
Riveting. Couldn't have slept tonight without that information. Wait, what is the actual German military doing?
Probably the same thing. Now let me just double check if I forgot anything, but I think we are good to go. We can finally start playing.
Huh. I hadn't even noticed we had raised taxes to 50%.
I guess the population neither, because I don't see any civil war happening. Everything is so easy in that mode, it's almost absurd.
It's okay, it's an average. And now, the time has come! You want to do it, or...?
Millennium Dawn introduced an influence system. You pay political points to either expand your own influence or reduce that of other countries, including your target. If you reach 80% of influence in a given country, you can puppet them. So the Pacifist run has one simple strategy: accrue political points as fast as possible, then bombard your praise media with fake news and propaganda about democracy actually being nice. What's more, the mod lets you invest in other countries, and your investments cost money but grant you influence. In 2019, the bug was roughly that you could cancel your investments and keep your influence, so you could promise Michigan about 40 ghost factories and they would like you for it.
Oh, too close to home.
But that bug is gone now, and the question becomes, can we puppet all three superpowers before early 2021?
Okay, so while you were talking, we doubled the German debt. That's 2.6 trillion in one day, and somehow the markets are not even worried.
We'll go on a spending spree now to whatever state or province will welcome the most number of investments at a time.
Because of game limitations. We can only invest factories in 5 provinces per country.
Now I'm sure that you would want to spend the next 5 minutes or more watching me bribe entire populations with good paying jobs and clean environment, but I don't feel like there is anything to say, so this is probably where I will introduce a cat. I don't care that you have central planning. I have central planning. We have central planning. Eat my free market.
What do you have against Europe using you as their remote factory, China? Huh? When did it ever go wrong in history?
I am not even exploiting them. Oh, thank God, that took forever.
That's it? All 3 countries? Okay, how much influence did that grant us?
I would say about 100 points per country.
And how many points do we need? Cindy?
A minimum of 20 times that.
So you mean we just spent 5 minutes investing frantically everywhere for basically no gain?
With the bugs that would have been half of the job done, but in this newer, shinier version of the mod, we'd have to rely on political points to do the job.
Ah yes, the infamous part of the Pacifist run where we just step back and do nothing but watch the days go by until we approach 2000 political points. This is the kind of gameplay I remember I never missed.
You offered to get ice cream instead.
And you said you liked it.
It was in November.
It wasn't that cold. And shouldn't we make a cut here too? We are just...
Would you look at that? I'm not even surprised anymore. You know who could have claims on the United States? Indians? If we're going for absurdochronies, where is my administration of topless feathered dream boys controlling the northern continent?
Does that count as politics?
I don't really care. If you want to dive into politics though, this is January 21st and the Confederacy just won. Also, I'm getting a little bored already, so I'm going to diminish the influence of Israel, among others, because all you need to erase a half-century of relationship is some strongly worded letter in a language you don't speak.
So we are 4 months later, with nowhere near the amount of points we need. What do you want to show us?
Are you ready for pure radiocracy?
Oh my god, no.
Oh, yes.
No, he hasn't.
He has.
No, he couldn't.
He's
He's
totally
mad.
done it.
Stop him.
He's a clown.
No, oh god, our viewers must be so lost.
Somehow this mod found a way to perfectly personify all of the competence and astute wisdom this man is capable of.
Okay, for those of you wondering, the US start with 1,000 influence points.
Other countries can vary.
And then what they're supposed to do is grow that number, making it exponentially hard for us to take over. But this!
I can't believe it. He's such a colossal buffoon that this will be easier than using the perk. But someone put effort into making that tree.
It costs us 1 political point per day. We don't need any of that at all. Give it up!
Okay, so we are in late October now and it is time to influence the US. There we go, Germany now has more sway on Americans than their own government, by far.
Still nowhere close to puppeting them though. Also, a lot of stuff happened in between. Want to talk about it?
Well, we made investments in France.
Except France, who knows how to manage its influence, so going after them would be a waste.
And I tried building IFVs.
But turns out Germany doesn't have the resources to build such advanced machinery because, you know, reasons.
And also I won the re-elections. That one is a bit funny because on my test run I actually had to build a new coalition which took 1 click, so lots of drama.
Yeah, basically nothing happened.
That's not exactly true. When we started the game, our political gains were about 2 points per day, but glad to our excellent stewardship, it rose to 5 points per day. Somehow. And after being re-elected, our stability grew, so now we are sitting on 6 points per day.
And we're expecting to gain another half point once we reach the superpower status.
Which should happen shortly after we puppet the US.
Talking about that, we are now in March, that's 15 months and the buffoon is still standing. What does that say about you?
That I'm a worthless failure and I should be terribly ashamed of myself.
No, that you shouldn't judge people so eagerly. So, do we jump to any final breaks?
22 months. It took 22 months, but we are finally almost there.
It wouldn't have taken nearly that long had the rest of the world not been meddling with their investments. Plus, we are a bit rusty.
You were right, I should have given up on the Focus 3, and the AFVs, and everything else.
I think it was mostly not lowering the... Is that a joke?
Oh.
Hey, Mod! Are you drunk?
Oh.
We just puppeted the United States of America! We are Germany! What is Marco Rubio doing as our figurehead?
There might be a slight misunderstanding from the mother's part.
Marco Rubio wouldn't even be elected dog catcher in Germany! Notably because dog catchers aren't elected in Germany, I don't think, but also because it's Marco Rubio!
It also occurs to me that this was basically the midterms for the US, and so we probably compromised with the party in power.
So, can we leave Clownland now? We still have 2 countries to puppet and only 2 years left.
We are now in July 2019 and Russia has almost fallen. It too won't raise its own influence and starts with only 800 points, so it was... Oh, come on! I built railroads in Siberia, what do you want from me?
No wait, I remember that one. We completely forgot you need a country to have the same political system before you can puppet them. We just have to spam political manipulation until all of Russia is convinced that corruption is a problem and our oligarchy is better than theirs.
Thank you, Taylor. I almost panicked.
Don't worry, we have been at it for more than an hour. I wasn't going to let it go to waste. No, let's turn this ugly green government around.
It has been a month. Please start getting a clue, Russia. When 80% of your population wants change, it's not democracy anymore, it's called a revolution.
Come now, we have to ask nicely. We didn't go for a coup.
Did it change? Oh, and it's Navalny. No, Navalny makes for a logical German figurehead.
Too bad they aren't puppeted yet though. One more push.
Okay, this is it. It's October 2019, Russia will be ours, Navalny will be our figurehead, and we'll find... Are you kidding me? Why? Him, why? Navalny was so fitting, why?
To be honest, we're just having fun with it. Someone doesn't have to model such details. What is aggravating, however, is we still aren't a superpower.
Seriously?
Yeah, I got a glimpse of it.
Well, we are moving to China now. I'll give up on focuses. China is actually investing in its own influence. They must be at around 1400 points. And I already invested all I could, so I don't know how long it will take.
On that note, we haven't even talked about money and budgeting actually.
There was really nothing to say. We started with a surplus even before raising taxes and probably ran our country into the ground through hyperinflation.
Basically we are drowning in money, so let's jump to when China will have the politeness to cave.
It's November 2020. China is starting to crack, but we will never make it in time.
Especially given that we have to change its political system first. Should we push past 2021?
I don't know. I mean, we won. It's just a question of time, and I considered breaking Japan too because of their many betrayals.
For those watching, Japan constantly offers to invest in Germany, which reduces our influence and makes becoming a superpower impossible. And also Japan fomented a civil war in Germany because we went with the left ones.
And Obama didn't even help me despite being my puppet.
He did send troops to quell the rebels though. Good guy, Obama.
It's still better than annexing Russia and finding ourselves with an unexplainable 10 billion deficit.
I think it was their weapons stockpiles causing our defense budget to explode. I don't remember.
I guess this is it. At best we can hope to see China turning blue, but other than that, this one has failed.
So we didn't become a superpower because other countries got some influence on us, and they got that influence because we are part of the EU.
The EU also costs us 20% of our political output, and I'm so tired of those trade offers. I haven't Brexited, leave me alone.
No pandemic either, and no recession. I guess wars are now made possible, which I don't know if that's an improvement, but otherwise this new version of the mod has been a bit of a letdown.
I guess leaving the EU could be an option, but that would require more testing, and I don't feel like it. The lesson is you can unify the world more or less within 6 years. Here you go. Happy New Year.